think initially when we were working on the play, I was exploring the areas of power and corruption that are really, really in the play, but I think as we worked through it, I think it became more evident that it's just about inequality. Not just about inequality, but it feels strongly about inequality, and that actually I was just seeing the moments around me in my everyday life that is happening, whether it's just people who live on the same street or walking into my warm, cozy house when there's a storm on and I know there's people on the street. So I think it really started making me look at the world in a different way, and just thinking, through choice, we don't have the choice of what street we end up in, or family or social structure or anything like that. So I think it's really encouraged me to look around at the world that I'm in. I hope the set design is evocative of lots of themes. I think what we really didn't want to do is, we didn't really want to convey one aspect of power and corruption or inequality. I think there are so many in the world that live around us that we're not hammering home, one version for us all to be thinking about. I think the idea of the set design is to conjure all different ideas of power and corruption and equality, but hopefully encourage the audience to see their own. I think when we were building the set design, we kept going, God, that feels like we're in an office and someone's just gone, we need equal pay, and there's amazing kind of protest images you see. This actually does feel like a barn now, like it feels like the hay bales, even though they're cages, or this feels like walking around in certain areas of different cities all across the UK and going, God, look at that big high-rise building and how glorious and beautiful and made of glass it is, and all the money that fills in there, and then look at this really downtrodden street and that people aren't living like that. So I think we were hoping that we would just keep creating pictures that make or encourage an audience to go, I can see that. And it felt like that started to come through when we were sharing it with the actors. It felt like then when we started meeting and collaborating with the actors that they were seeing their own versions of power and corruption and inequality in the design. And so that felt really positive, and we really hope an audience will take away whatever they see that needs looking at or addressing or feels familiar to them. The costume design, I found it really thrilling working on this costume-wise, and I think, of course, they're animals, but also in Tati's version, they are written without masks. And I think what's been brilliant to explore is each character through their story. So who would their story be now? And what social structures are around them, and how can we make them feel like, what are the stories about the person they could be related to the animal can be, and how can we kind of bring those shapes together, maybe visually, or how can we make it just feel like the animal? And that's been really, really interesting. And of course, then the thrilling thing about that is meeting individuals. So you can only go so far in designing it, and then you meet the individual, and then they come to the room, and it's a really brilliantly collaborative process. And so we've kind of been building those shapes and packs of animals as well, very much led by the story of who those animals would be today in human society, which has been really exciting to explore.